Welcome back to an introductory course on ground support equipment. I hope that you have completed all the lectures till now. So this being the last section of this course, we will discuss various ground handling operations and services. In this lecture, we will begin with the passenger services on the ground before boarding the aircraft, followed by the cabin services and catering services. And lastly, I'll conclude this lecture by discussing an overview of the field operations and ramp services offered by an airline. Every airline and airport management is intended to provide the best of their services to their passengers. Passenger services include ticketing, although most passengers will arrive at the airport with the tickets in their hand. But there are provisions at most terminals for on the spot purchase. Electronic check ins have become prevalent in most major airports. However, there will still be customer service agents to assist the passengers with the check in process. Then, lobby management. Passenger service agents will ensure that the appropriate number of check-in desks are available, staffed, and have appropriate identification signage, as well as directing and controlling the flow of passengers in an orderly and efficient manner. Lounge management. Where available, business and first class lounges available to qualified passengers will be staffed and provisioned. Aircraft boarding. Ground agents will also make appropriate boarding announcement, conduct final passenger screening and document verification, and provide a final passenger manifest and custom documentation to the aircraft crew. Aircraft disembarkation. Ground staff will receive an inbound custom paperwork and accept arriving passengers at the aircraft and facilitate their transfer to the terminal building. Now we shall move on to cabin services. An aircraft cabin is a section of an aircraft in which passengers travel. Most modern commercial aircraft are pressurized as the cruising altitudes are high enough such that the surrounding atmosphere is too thin for passengers and crew to breathe. Cabins may also be divided into several parts. These can include travel class sections in medium and large aircraft, areas for flight attendants, the galley, and storage for in flight services. Seats are almost arranged in rows and aisles. The higher the travel class, more space is provided. Cabin services is a professional aircraft cabin cleaning. Passengers often judge the aircraft by appearance of the cabin. The aircraft's state-of-the-art avionics may go unseen. The primary aim of this service offering is to ensure passenger comfort. While cabin cleaning comprises the bulk of the efforts, it also includes tasks such as replenishing onboard consumables and washable items like pillows and blankets. Catering services include the unloading of unused foods and drink from the aircraft and loading of the fresh food and drinks for passengers and crew. In flight, airline meals are delivered at the seats in the airline services trolleys. Empty or trash filled trolleys from the previous flight is replaced with the fresh ones. Meals are prepared mostly on the ground to minimize the amount of the preparation required in flight, which we have already discussed in the previous lectures. A field operations services dispatches the aircraft, maintains communication with the rest of the airline operation at the airport and with the air traffic controller. In short, all of the activities takes place on the ramp, which includes marshalling. The marshalling process at some aerodromes starts as the aircraft approaches the stand. The vehicle relinquishes aircraft guidance to either electronic stand entry guidance system or ground personnel to direct the aircraft to its final park position. Provisions of documents. Before departure, the flight crew will be provided with the appropriate documentation inclusive of all the uplift received, the completed aircraft load and trim form, or if the crew completes their load and trim, the certified loading instruction form, freight manifest, and appropriate notifications for any dangerous goods. Here we don't need much lecturing. All of the service equipment work together to service the aircraft. Besides, ramp is a place of potential hazard, especially to the passengers on the ramp. Most risk to passengers on the airside arise from the fact that the passengers are usually unfamiliar with the environment. Therefore, one of the main tasks when designing the procedures for passengers is to ensure that they stay away from hazardous areas and are properly guided. Considerations should be given to unusual circumstances such as evacuation of terminal buildings or aircraft in which passengers and other members of the public may be required to enter airside areas. So, see you all in the next lecture, where we will discuss how all these ground support equipment come together to service the aircraft.